just realized.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Bearded Respect.
Sorry about that.
Welcome to episode number 91. We got Jason over here and Mike down here, and we'll be right back after this intro video.
What's up, everyone?
Hey, everybody.
Everyone. Welcome to the Bearded Respect. Jason, you want to welcome some of these fine people into the show?
Mrs. Brew City, you were finally first.
Yay!
Hello. Hey, JP.
What's up, JP?
Hello.
Hey, Russ. How you doing?
Ross, what's up?
I don't have friends. I got family.
It was Phil, Bearding on a Budget.
Phil, what's up, man?
Phil.
Hey.
I think I'll be seeing Phil in Daytona.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
Jacked Up Leatherworks. Checking us out again.
What's up, Jacked Up?
Hey, Altamir.
All the mirror. What's up, man?
Hey.
Chief.
Steven, what's up?
Hello, neighbor.
Big Stu.
Big Stu.
Hello there, children.
Whisker Doc.
That's Nick. What's up, man?
Hello, neighbor.
Oh, I'm caught up.
Say hello to my little friend.
All right.
Caught up.
Oh, that was quick.
Yeah. So, did you guys catch the Amazing Race last night or today?
No, today. Yeah, I caught it today.
I caught it yesterday. I think I was the first one to see it.
Yeah, you got to see it before I did and before Jason did because of time zones and TV rights.
I had a hard time keeping my mouth shut.
Yeah.
You
You had me worried, but a little bit more coverage of Joel and Garrett this time, I think. More coverage, and they did pretty well.
Yeah, they did.
They finished in what place? Second place.
Yeah. Yeah, when they first started doing that one roadblock, I thought they were killing it. And then they wound up, they had to make 3 more.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
and that other team wound up leaving before them, and they got there before them, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what really helped is that boat when they had to offload all the groceries or produce or whatever. They really got a big lead.
Yeah.
Oh, plus the airplane, the flight. They got
Well,
because even that other flight got delayed.
I don't know how they worked that one out.
Yeah, that was just luck. That was all luck right there. Because they weren't the first ones to the tourist place, and other people couldn't get that early of a flight, and then they did.
Yeah, I don't know how. Yeah, they got screwed.
Yeah.
But it was even a different flight. Like there was that 145 flight, and then there was the 150 flight. And then the 145 flight wound up getting delayed till 3 o'clock. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I think there was only 2 teams on that 150 flight also, wasn't there?
I can't remember.
There's 2 or 3, but yeah. Yeah. Todd and his wife there, they weren't too happy.
So, Mark.
And I mean, they came in second to the checkpoint. However, that leg was not over. They were still racing. So
yeah, that was disappointing to me. I was expecting someone to get eliminated, and nope. You're continuing racing.
Yeah.
I wanted to go to the revival, but some previous family engagement was going on the same day, so I didn't get to go.
Yeah, I would have loved to have gone, but I'm planning on Detroit, so.
But let's hear that special message from Joel and Garrett, and bring in our guest.
We're still in it.
And believe me, they film this every week for us.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's going to be at the Circus of Whiskers.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's the Detroit thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's supposed to be pretty wild.
Well, tonight we have another competition that maybe everyone could be in because it's online, but we'll let our guests talk more about it. Our guest is a very interesting man, a lot of experience in different things. We're going to learn all about it.
Hello, Captain Ron. Welcome to the Bearded Respect.
Hey, guys. I got to scroll up to 5A.
Can you hear us okay?
This is mustacheparlor.com corporate headquarters.
All right. Cool.
And I'm here with Gabrielle, my latest.
Hi, Gabrielle.
Mustache minion.
I told her she couldn't be on the show unless she wore a Whiskerina beard. There is a much.
I'm betting you have a couple of those around.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into our questions, and we'll talk about what's going on down in your world.
All right, let's go.
All right, Captain Ron, what was your favorite toy as a child? What was that one toy that you always played with?
You know, geez, I believe it was Leonardo the Ninja Turtle.
Okay.
And Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan had a lot of cool moves.
Now, did Leonardo and Hulk Hogan ever fight each other?
No, they were a tag team. But that was like the cool thing about toys when we grew up, right? Because they really, it wasn't like they stuck in their own fantasy league. They were always, if you needed to go to war with Korea, you had the Ninja Turtles, you had Hulk Hogan was in there, a couple Smurfs, He-Man probably, G.I. Joe. You know, because you couldn't build a whole G.I. Joe squadron without, you know, the Incredible Hulk or... Remember, you used to be able to get the Superman action figures from the gas station, and they still make them today. They just they came with a Slurpee or some gas when we were kids, and now they've just repackaged the same toy generations. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. My GI Joes and Star Wars figures, they would often collaborate.
Yeah,
fight the enemy.
I was a little too young for Star Wars. So I didn't get to play with the classic Star Wars toys, but I believe they came out with the special edition. Nobody, you got to be a real old fart now to remember the special edition of Star Wars movies. That there even was one, but that was like a big deal because there hadn't been Star Wars for what, maybe 20 years, and they stuck Jabba the Hutt in the first movie.
Yeah.
So now we do have a Whiskerina joining us. An Amish Whiskerina.
Yeah, very Amish.
The Whaler.
We're just training her now. Can we test her live on the air?
Sure.
What is another name for an Amish beard? If you were going to be in a beard competition and you were going to wear a beard like this, what would you sign up as?
I know it because I looked at the beard categories yesterday and I don't remember.
There's actually 5 different names for it.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to cheat. Hang on.
I don't even think I know all 5 of them. What is the Dutch? Is there a Dutch name for it too?
Well, there's Shenandoah. There's Lincoln.
There's that's true. Lincoln is not really famous for a mustache with a beard.
Right. And then of course, what's the answer? Whiskerina there?
Oh, I didn't look at. You were.
I
was learning from the master instead of learning from the internet.
This is only her 3rd day on the job, and I've already promoted her 3 times. Oh. I thought she would nail this.
Valid statement. This is not. I'm not winning myself any brownie points right now.
Well, the famous one's Whaler.
Yeah, Whaler.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. And then I can't even think the other 2. We actually just talked about it not too long ago. Let me see here. There's Chin Curtain.
Right.
And Donegal.
I was gonna call it a Kyle, in all honesty.
Why was it a Kyle?
Well, because a Kyle does the short beard, but he leaves off the mustache, and he drinks Monsters, and he's a real douche. But I didn't want to say that at first. So.
Oh. We'll get to that, Russ. Hold on.
Yes.
Russ is trying to steal my show here. Just kidding, Russ.
I saw that, but I waited.
Just kidding, Russ. All right, so next question. You're known as Captain Ron Wolek.
Mm-hmm.
What qualifications do you have to be named captain? We want to know.
Oh, they wouldn't let me in the Navy, and I was upset.
Okay.
So, well, I've been working in Key West quite often, and I'm trying to get in the Conch Republic Navy, but they wouldn't let me, and I'm almost in the Conch Republic Space Force. So, if you know the legend of the Conch Republic, basically in the 80s or maybe late 70s, the police blocked the roads to Key West. There's only one run road on US 1. And to try to get a handle on all the drug smuggling that was happening at that time, that I guess the local commissioners were turning a blind eye to. So they declared war on the United States and seceded for, I don't know, maybe like 15 minutes. And they actually had gotten a boat and attacked a U.S. carrier and threw Cuban bread at it. But as soon as the Navy started to respond, they gave up and then applied for foreign aid. So they technically seceded where others failed in their mind. So I am a genuine captain in Key West.
All right. That's
It's
great.
just as easy as becoming your own country.
I wasn't sure if it had anything to do with the Captain Ron movie.
Oh,
Well,
Captain Ron.
That had a lot to do with it too. People kept calling me Captain Ron, and then when, there's a few other Rons out there too. I was always Ronald McDonald, or if you looked at the choices, I think Captain Ron was the best.
Yeah. 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 So, Ron, we actually met last year at the national competition in Casper, Wyoming.
Yeah.
And you had
Pulling a Jason.
We don't have the best technology here at Captain headquarters, but one day we'll get a fancy YouTube stand, and I mean, Scott's even got one with cool lights.
Oh yeah. Scott's he's the brains of the operation. He's the technical guy.
All right, now cross your fingers, hold your leg up, and put your pinky up.
Okay.
And hopefully we'll stay.
All right.
Okay.
So yeah, I met you at Nationals last year and was pretty fascinated by your booth there.
Yeah.
And one of the things that you kind of talked about was your time in Hollywood. You worked as a hairdresser, makeup artist. What are some of the shows that you worked on out there?
Well, when I was out in LA, I taught hair and makeup, and I'm more famous for working with Disney out in California.
Okay.
And I worked on a really cool PBS special about the Dr. Gonzo from the Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas movies. But mostly, what I'm most famous film and television wise is for a Santa Claus movie that Ed Asner was in for Universal. That was his last one. Santa Stole My Dog. I got to make his beard. I'm very well known as the Santa Claus beard maker, actually, out of all the things that I truly do. Santa Claus kind of supports this whole, charade that I'm currently playing. But The Walking Dead and Stranger Things and Vampire Diaries, and most recently I made a beard for the Creep Show holiday special, and I've been a part of Late Night with John Oliver, and I don't know, what do you think? What else? Oh, St. Petersburg Opera, my current boss.
Yep.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
How did you get into beard making? Like, how does that skill develop?
Actually, that's kind of an interesting story. Like, when I graduated high school, it was in 2000, and I'm sure you guys remember those dark times when the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC were controlling fashion. And they had this whole thing called metrosexuals, which I truly believe the modern hipster hair and facial hair rebirth came from a response from the metrosexual fashions of that time. It means something different today because so many things in society are attached to gender, but metrosexual was actually much more of a fashionable modern word at that time. It meant that you were kind of futuristic in a way and hip to fashion, but it was incredibly expensive. Men first really dabbled in hair in spa services that were really dominated by female clientele for the first time. And on top of that, they were younger men. So they were shaping their eyebrows and getting short clipper cuts and really fancy designer haircuts. And if you notice, all of that started turning around in about 2004, 2003, maybe even. And I think it's because those college kids were broke. They couldn't afford to go to the fancy salon anymore. So they started, their clothes were still kind of hip, but they were, metrosexual, but they had to mix them with thrift store items, and they were wrinkled. They stopped. You know, it wasn't easy being a good metrosexual, man. It took a lot of work. You had to wake up and probably, you know, iron pants for an hour before you could go to school. And so that's what I think the genesis of it was. Now, at the same time, too, at the theater departments, if you were on mustache duty, it meant you weren't very good, you know? So, and especially in operas, they had big period pieces where everybody was wearing a beard and a mustache. And I sort of like got into that position because, one, I felt like everybody was doing a horrible job. Like, if you saw a play from that era, the mustaches were really fake and ugly. And, you know, there's nothing worse than a fake mustache, right? Even worse than a fake beard. So I don't know. I just gravitated to it because I felt like this is where I could make my mark. There's like usually 30 or 40 beards in most of these operas. And I started focusing on that, not knowing anything that would happen in the future to me about beards and mustaches and so forth. So I began specializing in men's wigs, but not really facial hair. And then one thing led to another, and I worked on a lot of beard-related things like the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disneyland and Disney World and Santa Claus at Disney World and so forth. And I got a really cool job with Warhorse, the National Tour, which went all over North America and Japan. And I made all of the mustaches for the tour. Now, that was based on World War I. That's where my fascination for it became, because I don't know. Do you guys know that in World War I, the size of your mustache kind of determined the rank you had in the military?
Yep.
And it was like the opposite of either side. If you were in the German military, the larger beard and mustache you had, the more of a higher rank you had, where it was the complete opposite in the British Army. And that's where the real groomed English style mustaches come from, because you had the time to groom your mustache and to that detail, then it meant you had more money. Where if you had a big badass beard, like it meant you were kind of like a, you know, just a regular platoon guy, like a volunteer.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought, wow, this is great. And beards and mustaches were popular. I'm going to launch this website called mustacheparlor.com, use the energy I had from making mustaches with Warhorse. And that's how it all started.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. And we actually talked about that not too long ago, where the mustaches were, you know, like you said, higher ranking officials. And one of the reasons why, you know, the Amish culture don't have a mustache is because it was kind of like their silent way of saying they're against war.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So it's weird how people protested back then in such subtle ways.
Yeah.
and yet there was no internet. They had newspapers, but I doubt newspapers reported that, hey, the Amish aren't shaving they're shaving their mustaches because they're not supporting the war, you know. Right. But it's weird how everybody still knew.
Yeah. Another interesting thing about World War I and mustaches is when Hitler was in the army, not the leader of the Germany, but when he was a soldier, he had a large mustache.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
And then when he went to become the dictator, he cut it to the Hitler stash because
actually there's a reason for that.
It resonated with peasants.
Actually, he cut down his mustache because he couldn't get a seal on his gas mask.
Well, that too, yes.
Oh, really?
But it also the smaller the mustache, it really.
That's how that weasel survived.
Right. Yeah.
World War II buff.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and I believe the Emperor of Austria, if you even imitated his beard, you'd be shaving on the spot.
Oh, wow. What's up, Jay Cruz?
Hey, Jay.
All right. So next question. One thing off your bucket list. Like you can only do one thing on your bucket list. What's that one thing going to be?
It used to be the Beyond the Bearded Respect.
Yeah.
One thing on my bucket list, I have yet to gone to Alaska. I think that'd be really cool.
Okay, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I've heard
And
it's
I
beautiful
think
there.
the World Championships I was reading recently were even in Alaska. I wish I was
Oh.
kind of hip to the beard championship community. This is just recently that I've known about it for how extensive it is for the past like couple of years. But
Yeah.
it's been interesting how in society it kind of stayed under the radar for so long, but had such a large, amount of people participating in it.
Mm-hmm.
Because isn't the world contest like dates back to the World War I era?
I actually don't know. I don't know how long that's been going on, but I do know it's going to be in Pittsburgh in a couple of years.
Yeah, they went a long way from all these exotic places to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
But at least it'll be local to us.
Yeah, right. Yep. So what's you have this contest coming up, so why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah. Well, in Fantasy Fest each year we organize the official beard contest for Key West and the Fantasy Fest Festival. That's why it's on a Monday, because the festival is actually 10 days long. It really focuses on costumes and crazy Mardi Gras mixed with aqua Key West mermaid themes. It's very bizarre. So on this Monday, October 23rd, we are raising money for the Key West charity Nikki's Celebration. What Nikki's Celebration does is they take care of families who have to fight pediatric cancer. Now, Key West is still a small space, so they don't have a cancer clinic or a place where you can go locally for chemotherapy. So what this charity does is they will help families pay for hotel rooms in Miami and transportation so that the families can make their appointments. Because a hotel in Miami, a decent one, is even $300 a night.
Yeah.
So it's a really worthwhile cause. And that's where portions of the donations are going to this year. And it'll be an online contest and an in-person contest on the Monday of the festival to kick it off. And this is some of the posters that I've drawn the artwork myself, and I work with another artist who does in comic book. They do the line art and the coloring for me, but I've always done the sketches. And what we try to really focus on is trying to get also people to create really funky, crazy beards. Gluing on a fake beard is not just for whiskerinas. And that's what we're trying to have fun with at this contest, is that we're one of the beard contests that's open to all genders, that really we don't care who you are. You just got to show up with hair on your face. Mm-hmm. And we're very particular about that. We follow all of the same rules of National American Beard and Mustache Charitable Association, the really long one that's hard to pronounce, puts out there for guidelines for facial hair competitions. And we score with 7 judges and make a big serious deal about it. So if you enter one of our contests, you're being judged by professional hair and makeup artists from Hollywood and film and television that have some really awesome, serious credits. And in this case, for Fantasy Fest, we have brought a couple judges that are popular in Key West locally for costume-like contest. And there'll be actually 2 sets. We have a set of online judges for the online competitors, and then more Key West oriented ones for the people who will compete live in person.
Cool.
Yeah.
Have you done it online every year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've had a really decent response. So if you've entered our contest, we really do appreciate it. And the online portion of it is the most fun, actually. And there's a separate award, too, because we'll post your picture on Instagram, and the most likes gets another trophy. Do you want to bring over the trophy? Yeah. So the prizes this year I'm really excited about because they're the best ones that we've ever put together. The organizations that we're involved in are very supportive of the contest, and these extend to the online portions too. So This is what, the champion gets right there. That's a nice. I think the trophies are worth entering alone. And also our contest is really fun centered. We only charge a minimum. We used to charge $2, but credit card fees are not that cool. So now we charge $5 so that at least the charity gets, $3 to $4. But so the winners will get 2 concert tickets to Blossom Key West, which is a big EDM concert this year in Fantasy Fest. Also a cruise for 2. That's pretty badass, I think. And we've got bottles from Hemingway Rum from Papa's Pilar and Key West First Distillery, and cigars from William Ross Cigars. Key West is very famous for their cigars. What more could you want? Cruise, rum, cigars, trophies, and probably beard care too. We've got some awesome supporters for prize donations. You can win products from Dr. Goodbeard. Great beard line that I came across at the same Wyoming convention for the Nationals. Yeah. Really cool products. They use all cocoa butter. What I like about their products is that it really focuses on the skin that's underneath your facial hair, which is what is really, the secret to growing like a awesome beard like these guys over here, the ones on the right. And Death Grip Mustache Wax has recently signed up.
Oh, nice.
And Mythical Beards, which their line is perfect for if you're going to go out to Fantasy Fest. They probably got the best aromas for beard mustache products too. And they've got a great endorsement from professional wrestler Mick Foley.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Have they been around a while? I know they're locally here in Florida. Maybe like 5 or 6 years in
yeah,
I think so.
For awareness in the market.
Yeah.
Great colognes too. Like it comes in a little spray bottle, and then you spray it on your beard. And we've actually got them here if you want to see some of these prizes look like. They're in that big cardboard box underneath. And who else? I know there's a bunch of others too that I'm considering. There's free body paint from Captain Ron, and we're going to be hosted at Willie's Chicken Shack, which is famous New Orleans daiquiri bar. So I'm sure they're going to throw in some cool stuff too. And on top of that, you'll get your the winners will be announced on the radio on October 30th on TikiManRadio.com, which is the biggest trop rock Jimmy Buffett streaming radio station that broadcasts out of Key West on the Key West show with a DJ. His name is the Sound Man from Hell. And if you like Jimmy Buffett music, I really recommend that you check out Tiki Man Radio, especially the Sound Man from Hell.
Yeah, definitely. Who doesn't?
And they
like
play all
Jimmy
kinds
Buffett?
of music on Tiki Man Radio. It's not really just centered on that.
Yeah. So 10 days this festival is 10
we also
days.
have some CBD goodies from the Green Room, which is 3 great E's. I mean, there's something for anybody who's got a beard.
Nice. So the competition is just the Monday though, right? The portion, and then the rest of the week you're painting bodies.
Yeah, they don't really wear much clothes but my paint.
Yeah.
That part's pretty exotic. This lady that called me today, this is what she wants. She wants a snake wrapped around her, and she wants her breasts to be big red apples, and the rest.
How long is a paint session? Like a full hour?
Oh, it takes about an hour. I'm
That's not
fortunate.
bad.
I'm pretty quick with my designs because of my makeup background. That's the alternative to booking with me as opposed to another artist. The other artists are real, like I want to say, traditional artists that work on canvases and tattoos. So if you're there for a Fantasy Fest and you want to party, you have a choice. You can come with me and get treated like a movie star, be in and out in an hour, or you can sit in somebody's studio for 6 hours when you could be out in the best party in the world. Fantasy Fest is highly rated for being a very safe and extremely exotic Mardi Gras that is very hard to describe because it's so unique. What you're seeing on the screen right now is actually one of my more award-winning body paints. This was in the top 100 artists in the world for body painting in 2021, I believe. So I got to crack that big list and entered into the World Body Painting Association, and I've gotten to go to Australia and compete with them, and they really take body painting to an extreme level. And Key West has its own style body painting, and also really helped develop the art. There's a billion stories about how it started. I truly believe that because Fantasy Fest started out as a costume contest like Mardi Gras, that it just was too hot to wear clothes, so people started taking off their clothes, and then to avoid getting a ticket, they would put makeup on to cover up. And Key West is kind of quirky like that, so they got away with it.
Wow.
The first body painting in Key West, from what I understand, is they had a pink Cadillac in the parade. It used to be just one weekend and one day for a parade. And now it's grown to a 10-day festival. And the beard contest is the main event of Monday part of the festival, the Wolek Beard Championship. And so the first one was a pink Cadillac with a drag queen that was painted silver and was the hood ornament on the Cadillac. And that's what started it all. So, and it is true, it's really too hot for clothes in Key West. And I still wear them too. But I wish I had the guts to do what my clients do. And it's really people from all shapes and sizes, you know. It's very body positive in that regard. And that's, I think, why people like my artwork, because they feel like living, walking pieces of art. And my designs are really flattering to their body. It's interesting, though, a lot of people I meet at Fantasy Fest who do the topless body painting are breast cancer survivors. And it's kind of a bucket list item for those women that, you know, go through such torture to be in a place where they can take their shirt off and not be ashamed. And also a lot of women who work in offices and are teachers or something like that just retire, and it's like their teachers gone wild moment. So it's not but you also have gorgeous women too that take part. It's not a bad way to make a living, selling beards and mustaches for people who don't. I'm helping a lot of people here, aren't I? Facially, people who can't grow facial hair, and women and people who want to get away with legally being naked.
How many bodies do you expect to paint in a week in that span?
We've got, would you say, maybe 150 appointments?
Wow.
If not more. This is going to be a big year for us. We're pretty excited. Of course, we've got to hope they all make their appointments and don't get hungover before we get paid. So it's not always gravy for Captain Ron. I've got a lot of challenges in Key West. There's my clients, you know, they get so drunk and they get passed out. I sometimes wonder why I did it. But it sucking me back in. I almost didn't go this year. It was a really difficult year for everybody in the film industry, and especially for me. Everything, just one thing after another, didn't go right. And then you know, I knew a couple people that passed away, and then the strike happened, and I was interning for a theater. I just saw my career just take a big nosedive. But you know, the festival brought me back, and I have made a good impression with the DJ from Tiki Man Radio, the sound man from hell, the Reverend Gueco. And I've been involved with him now, and life just turned around for me. Makes you find religion when you hang out with a guy that says he's a reverend. I think he became a reverend the same way I became a captain. but he has a actual certificate that lets him marry people.
I can relate to that.
Yeah. And his holy water is a little suspicious, which is completely different than where I was last week. I was at the St. Nicholas Institute in Detroit with teaching a beard class and beard care maintenance for international Santa Clauses in a Catholic monastery. And you know, so Detroit's pretty famous for not just beards but Christmas history too. Not many people know the significance for that. The guy who runs the St. Nicholas Institute used to be the Santa Claus in the Christmas parade on CBS, which was broadcasted in Detroit. I heard you guys mention you're going to Detroit for a contest coming up, or when is that?
I will be. That's the week after Nationals. The 11th of November.
Yeah. Are all of you guys going to make it to Daytona this year?
I won't.
No, it looks like it would just be
Yeah.
I
I was
feel like
thinking about it, but there's a lot going on.
Yeah. It's just right after Thanksgiving too, I believe.
No, it's the first week in November.
It's the first week of November?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
Fourth.
man, I might not even make it.
Like 3 weeks away.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Is it usually that close after Halloween?
Last year it was Veterans Weekend, so it was November 11th or 10th or 11th. 2 years ago or 3 years ago was in September, so it's kind of different. It depends on the venue, I guess, like where they agree on and what's the best price. But
yeah, man, that's a tight turnaround for me. I really enjoyed it. I was in the Bigfoot contest and the world's largest beard chain, and
yeah,
you were actually right next to one of the guys we were there with, Casey from
oh yeah,
Copper Johns.
Yep.
Yeah.
What
well organized chaos that was.
Yeah.
Plus with the bacon and bacon and bourbon festival, or what a booze
I know.
and bacon.
And I heard they kind of like that was a last minute nationals too, that they weren't really intending to be in Wyoming, and it really pulled together to be a real fantastic event. It was the first one I went to. I was impressed with the just the variety of vendors that they had. Of course, I was there. I was the only fake mustache man there. But and I sponsored the Santa Claus in the contest, and that was fun. And he ended up joining a facial hair league in Denver afterwards.
Yeah, I just ran into that Santa Claus a couple weeks ago in Denver.
Yeah, Santa Tom. Yep. He's an interesting cat, man.
Yeah, he was definitely. It was at a tattoo convention, and he was definitely interested in the burlesque show that was right after the beard competition.
It's all good Santa Clauses are.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, am I getting that cord over there? I think it went. Oh, here it is. What you see on the screen is actually the 70th anniversary of my grandfather's beard and mustache contest, which I was kind of promoting in nationals. My grandfather, my great grandmother made vodka and was a rum. My families were, I guess, like vodka runners and Prohibition days, and had a speakeasy. And after the speakeasy became legal, my grandfather took it over, and then he would have mustache growing contests in Lent, and it was pretty popular, and was on the we have newspaper articles from it with the winners of the contest. So we recreated it this year with the help of Honest Amish in Syracuse, New York, at the Syracuse Polish Home, where it's a historic building where the funds went to help them restore their bowling alley and a bunch of things. So it was pretty cool to be able to take my little mustache parlor and then recreate my grandfather's event on the 70th anniversary of the contest. And it wasn't at the same location, but it was at the location where all the members of that contest would have drank at.
Mm-hmm.
So these are all the awards you see on the screen. They were made by a scenic shop here in Orlando that's really famous for theme park work. And these are genuine artifacts from a very famous theme park with our sponsors. And so, you know, when you come to a Wolek's championship, you're going to come home with something cool.
Those are really cool.
Yeah,
those trophies. Those are really nice. I'm laughing at Jason's dog, who is snoring very loudly.
and she's right beside me today.
I think she's right beside the microphone.
I couldn't be more prouder of the champions that we ended up with. On the left was the guy who won Best in Show, and Syracuse's mascot is a big orange. So what better than a guy with a giant orange red beard would show up and win it?
Yeah, that's a nice beard too. Yeah,
it is.
Yeah,
you couldn't have planned that better.
Right.
And the Whiskerina was the surprise entrance, and she stole the show. You can't really see what's going on there, but basically it was a bowling alley fundraiser theme. And she's got a bowling alley lane that comes out of her beard just like this with pins.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like a propeller from this picture, but up close it was pretty famous. And the guy with the Death Grip shirt, that mustache is killer. And of course you've got multi-time champion Aaron. I'm sure he took home first place in the Nationals, and Robert Medvick is very famous as a whaler.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, is this a competition that happens every year as well?
They were so impressed with the amount of people who entered. They really thought it was going to be a flop.
Yeah.
I think we had about 30 people enter, and my grandfather's contest took place on Easter, and because of the availability of it all, we had to do it the Saturday before Easter. So we're really lucky to have the turnout that we did. And I believe they took in close to maybe $1,000 to raise for their restoration just on beard competitors. And that's not counting beer sales, you know?
Yeah.
So they invited us back next year, but we're going to have it the weekend after. The tradition my grandfather started is that you would grow your mustache and then shave it the Saturday before Easter. And then if you were a good member and you paid your dues, then you got a clam bake the following weekend. So we're going to use that approach this time around.
Okay.
Yeah. To enter the contest in Key West, you've got maybe 6 or 7 days to do so. It's a $5 entry. You can enter now, and you have until 7:00 p.m. Eastern time to send in your photo. We have a beard contest administrator that's a real person this time, who is going to make sure all of that stuff happens. A part of our problem is I'm a super busy artist that I'm lucky I get to hire people to do cool things, but the people I've employed before just didn't take it seriously enough and really let people down. So that's not gonna happen this time. And the contest is really helping me organize it. And these things are a lot harder to put on than it looks. Have you guys organized a beard contest yourself?
No,
not yet.
Yeah. Well, if you look into the North American Beard and Mustache Charity Association guidelines, there's a bunch of crazy rules that you would think would never come to happen, but anything could go wrong in a beard contest. The first time we ran one, it legitimately took like 2 weeks to declare a winner because, kid you not, we hired a bunch of Canadian judges and none of them, they were so nice they scored everybody really high. So you have to have at least 7 to have no problems and disappointed people after.
Yeah.
And each time there's always been something like you would never have dreamed of happen.
and because you're just putting on a little contest that, you know, you're hoping will get a lot of attention, but not a lot of people, you know, but
Right.
But fortunately last year in Key West, we had a great set of champions, and I couldn't be more prouder than the people who won the Hank Wolek 70th anniversary contest. Are you guys planning to enter?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know how creative I can get. Usually I just enter my beard and let it go, but
Exactly. You don't have to be creative. You can. It's a traditional beard contest too.
yeah.
There's a category just like what you're used to entering. I suspect the fantasy portion will be mostly like a local competition.
Mhm.
And these are some of the trophies. And that's my father on the right.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it'll be pretty fun. We should really think about broadcasting it live, like on something like what you guys do. We're live, right? This isn't really
Yeah,
recorded.
this is live.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
live. Yeah.
We should have you guys there doing the commentary.
There we go.
That's what we ought to do next year. I mean,
Yeah,
we've
that'd
got
be great.
four people here. Has anybody thought about that before? Like it seems like all these competitions should be like broadcast on TV. The dog show gets like a whole day. Used to knock off wrestling.
Yeah.
So yeah, Nationals is broadcast on Twitch, but there's no one really talking. You just have the MC. But yeah, that's an interesting thing, having commentary along with it. That would be pretty, like ESPN or like a football game, you know, like.
Why not?
Good
I'm going to
idea.
talk to Tiki Man Radio about that. We've got to put this on the air.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody wants to see what a Whiskerina looks like in Key West.
Right. Absolutely.
It's not this.
Hey.
Wait, what?
Not it.
Watch what you say, and I made that beard.
No. I mean,
I don't know.
They
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 believed you.
I mean, there's going to be more classier Whiskerinas than one who just threw one on. Hopefully.
So, are you planning? Will you be entering as a Whiskerina?
I think she has no choice.
I think it's written into my contract that I have to do whatever my boss tells me to do. So I'll probably be entering into a lot of contests on his behalf.
Well, I can't sell that hairpiece anymore because somebody put it on without permission. Ooh. This is just kind of like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory.
Oh,
you know, you could.
I'll buy it
if you're greedy. Something not always. You don't always get candy.
I just have to say, I do fully understand why my husband loves for me to scratch his face now, because I wholeheartedly get it. I think every woman should wear a beard at least once.
Does your husband use beard oil?
He is now.
Okay.
That'll take away the itch.
That's what stops the itching.
And he complains because it looks like this afterwards, because his hair grows in all different ways.
Oh.
And actually, before I started working for Ron, I talked him into letting me buy him a beard grooming kit. So, but it's my responsibility to groom his beard. Oh. So it was a trade-off.
Yeah.
One of these might be helpful.
Not me.
A beard straightener.
I told him I wanted to get him one, and he looked at me funny. But I think now that I'm making money, he's probably going to let me do whatever I want.
Yeah. Well, you can direct them our way. We can give them all kinds of suggestions.
Oh, I will. Don't worry.
Yeah. What do you guys usually recommend for beard grooming routines?
For a beginner, start with the oil.
Yeah, at the very least, oil every day into the skin, not necessarily into the beard, but into the skin.
Okay.
And go from
Definitely
there.
A beard comb.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is it bad that I'm the one that called that out?
Don't use hair shampoo.
Yes.
Use beard shampoo, because it's made differently. It's made for the beard, not the hair.
Yeah, at least a good beard wash.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
The oil and the wash are the two important parts. The rest of it is more for our
it's like me going and buying makeup or a hair straighten, like 6 hair straighteners, right? Like I don't really need it, but
right.
It makes me feel pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it can make it look a little better. Also, beard butter is more for moisturizing the hairs. And then beard balm keeps the flyaways down. But the oil and the wash are the two important parts.
Yeah. Perfect.
And depending on what type of work he does, I mean, like if you're in white
he's
collar
a substation
worker,
electrician, so he's outside and in the heat a lot. Except when he's not, and he's sitting in his work truck taking a nap and watching Netflix.
Okay.
It's a very big trade-off on the day.
This is a pretty popular show you just called him out on.
But I'm not calling it the company that he works for.
So yeah, if he's blue collar, if he's blue collar, getting dirty and sweaty,
yes, sir.
He'll want to use a good daily beard wash and probably wash it every day. Like I'm a welder, so I'm grinding, welding, burning, smoke, dust. I wash mine every day. Now, like if you were white collar, you could maybe get away with every other day or something, but yeah, I wash mine every day.
Sounds good. I will make sure he gets on it. And then
Ron, messing with that camera.
I could see it. It was just tilting and it was gonna fall, but I couldn't do it.
I'll make sure he gets on it.
She did a good job killing time though.
They don't call me Gabby for nothing.
So we do have some questions for you.
Sure.
In the chat here. Let me just pull these down. So the first question was from Russ. He wanted to know, do you take people fishing, freshwater or saltwater? Being that you're a captain.
I think salt. Well, that's I like saltwater fishing. I feel but there's more adventure to saltwater fishing than actually the fishing part. So
yeah,
I think if you really wanted to fish, then freshwater is the way to go.
Okay.
Right. But it's a different situation because you're really like fighting beasts in the ocean where it's more like, I don't know, it feels like survival, where if you fish in a lake, it's a little bit more sporting. Like you can get, it's also a lot of good therapy too.
So in Florida,
I wish I fished more, but I don't, I haven't done so in a long time.
Yeah.
Fishing's not easy in Florida. There's a lot more to deal with than just the fish and
sharks or alligators.
Yeah.
Yes.
We live in a state where there is the highest amount of pests anywhere else in the planet except for Australia, maybe.
Wow.
We were actually talking the other night about how we both had Florida survival training in elementary school.
Wow.
Kind of like how to be a Floridian. So.
Wow.
So is there a proper way to run away from an alligator?
Yes.
And how is that?
Now, we were taught to run zigzag. I do believe that's been debunked, but I do believe it's still very effective because the alligator can't rotate. Where people go wrong is they said to go like this. What you're really supposed to do is run sideways like that, and then you fool the gator and then go long distances. That's why there's so many alligator attacks right now. There's all these tourists moving to Florida, like in record numbers. And it is a big problem, I believe, because people are feeding the alligators so much that they associate them more with pets. Reptiles they're starting to lose their, people don't look at them the same as they used to 40 or 50 years ago. Like, you would when you see a spider or something. Like, they don't want to instantly kill it, so they see them as pets. Like, there was a terrible accident where an alligator grabbed a baby out of a lake near Disney World.
Yeah,
that's a pure example of what's happening here. Is now as more Florida is getting developed, I'm kind of a conservationist too, actually. As more Florida gets developed, the habitat is getting destroyed. So there's less sources of food, actually, particularly because of the python problem. This is where I think the environmentalists go wrong, is that these pythons are an invasive species, and the permits to get hunting licenses for pythons are actually very difficult. They won't let you take weapons. For some reason, these guys have got to go into the Everglades. They've got to strangle the freaking python. Have you ever seen these shows?
Mm-mm.
They can strangle the python, stick it in a bag alive, and then bring it to the ranger so they can euthanize it. I don't understand why a dead python's a dead python to me, why they just don't shoot it. And then bring it back. That does make sense a little bit because they can carry so many eggs. But people, I think, feel like there's less fear of reptiles. They almost equate them almost like mammals these days. So you can't really kill a python except for with a gun in certain times of the season. But they're all over the place, and they're killing so much of the natural habitat that it's affecting the alligator. And now I believe the alligators are slowly looking at human beings as a food source, not to eat them, but because people have fed them so often, and they get kind of pissed if you show up and you don't have anything to give them.
Yeah.
And I think they retaliate that way.
Yeah, just the other day I read that they found a half-eaten man inside a alligator.
That happens a lot.
There was a lady in, I think, Palm Beach, Homestead, which is pretty much the tip of the state, that they've found the gator, but she was like she was dead and half in his throat still,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a weird time, and there's also these crazy iguanas which people are getting very protective over, and I don't know.
Even though they're an invasive species.
There's lots of people out there that would love to just make a living just killing pythons, and why not let them do it if it's that big of a problem? It's an invasive species. It doesn't belong here, and if you're a real conservationist, then I think you'd be for removing them, or at least bringing them back to where their real natural habitats is.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned that alligators, they can't turn too well. I have my own technique of avoiding an alligator, and that is just to run around it until it gets tired chasing you. Like if you just run to its tail and it has to turn all the way, and then you run to the other side, you just keep doing that until it tires out, and then you're good. Feel free to use
it. And then what happens until you get whipped by the tail?
Feel free to use that.
Or what happens if you get too close?
But the alligators also that they're discovering that are attacking are like record size. And I believe when it comes to reptiles, it's the bigger they get, it's also because they've eaten a lot, and like the bigger prey that they're consuming.
Yeah.
Is I think how it works out why some pythons are so large. It's not, we thought, you normally think, well, that's got to be a really old alligator because they do really get pretty old. But some of these giant pythons that we find aren't really like decades old like we assume they are. They've just been able to consume it.
Wow.
So weird Florida man problems,
Right. So Russ also wanted to know if you'd go fishing in Alaska.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's where like the real good salmon and trout is, right?
Oh, yeah.
Not the fake stuff that we probably have to deal with down here.
Right.
That's grown in a fishery.
Aldemir, he's from Hawaii. He wants to know if vampires grow beards. He's never seen one.
Oh, that's a good question. I've never seen one either. I think it's because the Wolfman has the copyright credit over that and trademarked it. You don't really see any other anybody in horror having a beard or mustache at all.
Right. Yeah. And you would know. I mean, you've made people up to look like those things.
I know some interesting trivia that most people probably don't know about beards and mustaches as it relates to the classic Wolfman. So you would think that the hairdresser would be the one in a movie to take care of a man's beard, or the barber. They have barbers on movie sets too. It's actually forbidden in the hair and makeup union for a barber or a hairdresser to do anything with a man's face. You know, they're only allowed to touch the hair on their head, or you can get fined and thrown out of the union for stealing another man's job. And the history of it is because of the Wolfman makeup was hair on all of the face, was they were gluing hair. And the trademark at that time for the early special effects artists that now it's like how cool you can make an alien or how good of a crazy wound you can make. But what it used to be was to make a beard and glue it on someone's face like hair by hair by hair. And if you could make a convincing beard, then you were considered like one of the top artists in your area. So that's, I don't know. I just thought that's interesting, kind of funny trivia.
Yeah.
Most people think that in Miracle on 34th Street, that's actually a real beard. But that actually is a makeup design where the beard was, they call it hand laying. And they kind of put the hair over top of each other, starting at the bottom of the beard, a little bit like laying shingles. And today, most people think that was his real beard. But what happened is when they were filming Miracle on 34th Street, they originally casted the actor's cousin, and something happened and he couldn't do the role. So he was the last minute replacement. So there wasn't enough time to grow a beard. And what gets confusing is he became famous for that movie, so he would grow his beard out every year and make appearances as Santa Claus until he died. But that was actually a fake beard. It was probably the most famous, convincing fake beard of all time, The Miracle on 34th Street.
You just ruined my childhood.
Well,
you ruined it.
So all he wants to know if you like the movie Captain Ron. We kind of discussed that already.
Yeah. And you know what? I stayed next to where Captain Ron used to work. There was a real Captain Ron. That all happened coincidentally. I had no idea that the Captain Ron movie was based on Captain Ron in Key West.
Oh.
And
I had no idea
it was
either.
just, it was about this family. That part was actually a true story that they got, went on one of this guy's crazy cruises or boating things. So I don't think that Captain Ron wore a captain's hat either. He might have had an eye patch.
And Aldemir says your beard is looking smooth.
Oh, thank you.
Which it is. I remember at Nationals, your beard I think was larger.
Yeah, that's kind of a good story too. I almost didn't make Nashville on Nationals because a hurricane came through and shut down the Orlando airport.
That's right. Yeah.
So I had to drive to Tampa because for some reason Tampa's only an hour away from Orlando. Some reason they let that one open, and the airline changed my ticket to Tampa, and I had to fly to Denver. And I remember talking to the people in Nationals. They said, "Oh yeah, it's a very close drive to Casper, Wyoming." Anybody else fall for that trap too? Did you drive through from Denver? Well, you live in Denver, correct?
Me and Jason did fly into Denver, but Mike picked us up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he lives in Cheyenne, so it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
And so I think it was really maybe a 4-hour, 5-hour drive. Am I wrong?
Yeah, about 5 hours.
Right.
And I stopped at the most interesting gas station that had just all kinds of real random cool stuff in the middle of nowhere. And so I had to travel like almost close to 48 hours. So it was a real red eye. And I didn't even get there to really kind of close to sundown the next day of the Bigfoot convention and competition. So that's why my beard was so large. Like it just, it looked like I did go through in the hurricane weather and the humidity. And I was kind of surprised because I would I assumed in the mountain air it would have been something different for my hair. But if you look at pictures of me from that contest, that's the best part about those contests. I didn't know that they would have these cool photographers that take incredible portraits of you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And the lighting in there, I had some really cool. Everybody in Wyoming was awesome. Just the random people I met. I met this cool dude who I think at the beard at the beard chain contest, and then he later saw me like hauling all my. I was only by myself, and I didn't get to bring my whole booth. That's why my booth looked so tacky. Do you remember how that looked?
Oh yeah.
And I had bought poster board, and I had a good time though. I poster board from Walmart and a little bit I had, and I could only get like a couple beards in the suitcase and beard oil, and it looked like I was setting up for a garage sale. But and then of course I had a good spot, and then there was like a snafu. The people who organized the nationals were pretty cool guys. So but anyway, there was like a snafu. Somebody had bought 2 tables, and I was like right in the middle of the 2 tables, so they never got them together. Some kind of a story like that. So they moved me to CrossFit. So here I am with this hokey booth, right? It looked like Tom Sawyer put it together. And on top of that, I'm selling fake beards. I don't even have real cool beard stuff. And I'm right next to Honest Amish. So there's a title sponsor of the biggest booth. So I look like the garage sale version of Honest Amish. But I got to meet those guys, and they're very
Great time. That's that's like my favorite part, is just meeting different people and getting to know each other, and supporting a great cause. Like for every beard competition is definitely for good cause.
I really truly believe they should have just stuck with Casper, Wyoming, and made that their thing, going along with the Bacon and Beer Festival. And from what I found is most people never really had a reason to kind of go there, so everybody was happy to have the excuse to go. And it just the Western atmosphere had a really cool it was so fitting for a beard contest. I'm sure Daytona Beach will be interesting too. I actually haven't been to Daytona in a long time. It's been it's changed a lot from back when like Spring Break was on MTV.
Oh yeah.
But they have great artwork too. I think my artwork is really good, but I'm really jealous of their logo this year with the tidal wave beard, and I thought, why didn't I think of that? That's perfect for the Key West thing. And and the logo they had for Wyoming was pretty awesome with the buffalo and so forth. It drew me to it.
Yeah, I like the Daytona one too. The skull and the beard.
Yeah. I wonder who actually who designs that. Do they have a different designer all the time, or is it those guys?
No idea.
And I think the Austin Facial Hair Club is a big part of the are they Texas based or?
Austin, Texas.
Yes, it's mustacheparlor.com/Key West if you want to sign up. I totally forgot to say that.
Check
You're
this out.
probably wondering where to go.
Actually, let me put it in the chat again so people can click on it. But it's $5 entry for beard competitions, going to a good cause, of course. And so online, like, is it like, if you're a contestant, are you interactive online, or is it you're just submitting your photos online and people are just looking at it?
Yeah, we have a Facebook group for the competitors, and we have a very highly like respected the vice president of NABMCA. I always screw up that acronym. That's a really long one. The North American Championships, I think, is probably what people refer it to. But Christine Hackman is our beard championship registrar, and she participates in that group, answers questions, and kind of does a little bit of the prejudging. So, the prejudging is pretty important. I think that's what I liked about nationals is the prejudging part of the contest that if you hadn't been to a beard contest before, they would at least steer you into where the category you'd be the most competitive in, you know?
Right.
Because if you don't understand the difference between a style, the groomed beard and a natural beard, and, you know, where you can use products and when you can't.
Right. Right.
So we will be interactive there the day of the contest. And the judges will have 7 days to score. They're all over the country. We have a former hair and makeup head department, hair and makeup head from Saturday Night Live is on our judging panel. And, you know, some great people from the Vancouver Facial Hair Club, and a makeup department head from Walt Disney World, and extremely talented hair and makeup artist in Baltimore. We're still actually looking for 2 more online judges that have fitting criteria to really give a good beard analyst. Everybody who enters will receive a certificate. Do you have one of the certificates out, please? And on the certificate, you get to see all of your scores. So it'll be a cool souvenir.
That's
it's not
cool.
just you're giving your money away to a good cause, which is a good reason to do it, and to win a trophy, but you'll have some memorandum of what you accomplished. And, you know, so I hope people will appreciate that.
Yeah.
When they receive it.
Yeah.
Last year, do you recall how many entries you had?
Yeah, we had about 60.
Oh, okay.
Which I was pretty happy with that for the online competition.
Yeah.
In person, we had about 25 competitors.
That's good.
And we were not with Tiki Man Radio at that point. So the promotion was not to what I preferred. But the previous year I was with Hard Rock Cafe, and I did a majority of it, the promotion, and we had a much better turnout. But we still had great champions. We had a guy with a really long Santa Claus beard win, which was totally coincidental too. And it was fitting for one of my contests. And we had, this is a really good story. And actually, maybe you guys can help me identify this. Here's one of them from Key West. It's got a seal, so it's not like I just printed it off of Microsoft Word.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mythical Beards was one of our original sponsors for the first contest. But in the second contest, at the last minute, this Vietnam veteran came out into the bar we were hosting it at, who had his beard like wrapped up in 5 or 6 small, like individual balls, like perfectly like sculpted. Like they kind of look like, I don't know, fishing lures in a way. And there was like 4 or 5 of them scattered around. And then we gave him the judges award, and then he just disappeared. And we never were able to find out what his name was or anything. And you could tell that this man was like planning to attend our contest, but he wasn't really that mobile anymore. He was a pretty old guy, and he had tried so hard to get into the contest. He was out of breath, and he was so happy he won. And then he won in the street back at the festival with his trophy. It was like mirage, but we actually do have pictures of this guy.
Yeah.
If you Google Key West Fantasy Fest beard contest, there were a few articles that were posted where we try to find him. We also probably maybe had one of the first Whiskerinas that is transgendered, and that was pretty cool. When she won, she said she was a wiener. I thought that was funny. Yeah. And then the guy who won Fold Beard is I wish I remember the man's name, but he is a multi-time winner in a lot of regional beard contests from Texas, and I guess was well known in the I guess is there a beard contest circuit? Can we call it that?
Kind of.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Because I've been to quite a few in the past year, and I kind of see the same people, traveling cross country for each one.
Yeah. I'm hoping to get out and do more competitions now that I feel a little bit better and have some more steam. But I'm definitely going to try to get to Daytona. But
yeah,
that's rough for a hair and makeup guy right after Halloween, and I actually think I may already be booked. I'll have to check it out. It's the same week Tiki Man Radio is doing their the Parrot Head concert, which is going to be particularly big this year. And with the passing of Jimmy Buffett, Key West, kind of had a love-hate relationship with him. Like, they were happy that he was successful and brought all this attention to Key West, but sometimes bringing a lot of attention to a small little town like that can kind of ruin some of the charm. But it's really nice to see him get such the respect that it's cool to say you like Jimmy Buffett again in Key West is what it feels like when I was there. Before you didn't really request Margaritaville to the guy who was playing in Key West, right? So, but it'll be a tough choice between the Jimmy Buffett tribute concert and Nationals to make.
Yeah.
Is there another big contest coming up afterwards, or is it just the world competition after?
No, there's
Detroit's a big one, right?
Yeah.
The one in Detroit's gonna be pretty big. They just had a big one in Cincinnati last week.
Oh yeah, I heard you guys talk about that. I got to be on a show when we were promoting the Wolek's one with, I think that's Taxi Phil.
Yes.
Yeah.
We actually had Taxi Phil on the show a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, he must have been fun to talk to.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got to meet him in person in Nashville. In the beginning of September, we were at a competition there, and he was there. He was the MC there. Yeah.
Yeah, MC is pretty important. We had Ray Norcross as our MC. He did a tremendous job. I would have never known that really was the first time he ever did it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he's pretty good. I was hoping he was going to be in Nashville so we could meet him, but he couldn't. Turns out he couldn't make it.
Yeah.
If you go to a website called the Beard Calendar, that's where there's a lot of competitions, and it'll tell you what state they're in and things like that. But I mean, some of these you may never heard of them, but for the area, it's a big competition. I mean, if you get, 30, 40, 50 people, that's pretty good sized competition. Yeah. Now, it might not get the recognitions that National does or Worlds or some of the others, but in the community, in the circuit, as you put it, they're probably pretty good sized competitions. So,
yeah.
But yeah, there's on the 14th, there's one in Texas on the 13th. I don't know what state that one's in. On the 14th, there's one in Vancouver. There's one in San Francisco. One in Baltimore. That one in Baltimore, that's the Mad Vikings 10th Annual Monsters Ball.
Oh,
I think I've heard about that. People talk about that one.
Yeah, that one's in Maryland.
I thought they had that in Pittsburgh every year. I guess.
Well, I think Taxi Phil was talking about it when he was on the show. Said they had moved it to.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I think it was going to be Ocean City, Maryland.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So yeah, those are just on the the 14th, 13th, and 14th. And then the 21st, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 on the 21st. North Carolina, Texas, Indiana, two in Indiana, one in Hobart, Indiana, and one in LaPel, Indiana. So yeah,
So there's really almost one every couple days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Almost like every weekend, yeah.
It slows down a little bit around the holidays, but
could you
picks
imagine
up real big in spring.
Could you imagine if it got like NASCAR and you could just do that for a living?
Well, that's what Aaron Johnson does.
Yeah.
He's at like one every weekend.
I have been to the one in Vancouver. That was my first one. They put on a really fun little event. That in that particular one, there's the beards and mustaches, but the costuming that accompanies it too. The year I was there was an Elvis and a Macho Man, and but very well dressed, like suits and from different time periods.
Yeah, a lot of the judging, they seem to judge you higher with the costumes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there were some at Nationals too, but it was really a lot of people just like you and I that were entering, That was kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and then there were people there who it was their first time. Like the one guy in my group.
Yeah.
He was a little drunk. Causing all kinds of ruckus.
Yeah, I think he peed himself.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, the MC job is not as easy as it looks. I did it last year. The Sound Man from Hell is going to be the MC this year and the contest in Key West. We really think we're going to have our highest turnout, so we should consider trying to broadcast it live like what you guys are doing on this show.
Yeah.
The grand prize is that you get to ride in the parade, which is a big deal during Fantasy Fest. So all of our winners will be exclusively on this float.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Pretty interesting.
Hey, Jason, your dog
looking
is really
forward to it. It's about what have we?
She moved. I did put myself on mute for a while because she was over here. I mean, like I said, it's usually I'm so used to it, I don't pay attention. But she was over here. I put myself on mute for a while.
So, what else goes on at Fantasy Fest other than the beard stuff?
Well, it's themed kind of different every day. The first couple of days, it's sort of like a Caribbean carnival called Goombay, and that's really a family-friendly event. And they have a big street fair with food trucks and cool stuff like that. And then it really kicks off into high gear on Sunday. They have a zombie bike ride that I think usually attracts about, from what I read, 6,000 to 7,000 people who dress up like zombies, and they start out on the other end of the island and they ride all the way down and end in the center of where Fantasy Fest is. And to me, it's pretty cool and that's a family-friendly event where families will get together and they look like really like cheesy Dawn of the Dead zombies. They go crazy with the blood all of their clothes, and they decorate their bikes to be kind of like all Halloween sort of like, and so it's more of like a spooky feel. It's not really like a Walking Dead zombie ordeal. It reminds me more of like Nightmare Before Christmas, the type of characters and the costumes that people wear for it. And I love it because as soon as that sun comes down, it's like that's when it's like Key West gets taken over by this entire festival, and it becomes more adult oriented. And then Monday is the main event is the beard contest. Then there's also a foot race where you're supposed to dress like a superhero or a villain. And we're really the main event of the whole day on Monday. The festival does a really nice job of promoting us. And Tuesday is everybody wears a tutu, regardless of where it is. It's kind of like if you don't show up with a tutu on Tuesday during Fantasy Fest, it's like going to a St. Patrick's Day without a day parade without wearing green, where they won't even let you in to the bars without a tutu. It turned out to be a big fundraiser that way. So a majority of the fundraising takes place on the beginning of the weekend. Tutu Tuesday, I believe the history of it is all of the bars in Key West, I guess, used to donate like significant portions of whatever money they made that day. And Wednesday is pretty famous for a glow party at a bar called Rick's. We're going to have a glow-in-the-dark chicken party at the Willie's Chicken Shack, where I'm going to be at. I'm planning all of the entertainment with the sound man from hell from Tiki Man Radio. We're going to have a band called the Red Elvises on Sunday night, which have you ever heard of those guys? They're from Long Beach, California. They're coming in to play with us and a couple other bars during the festival. And then on Monday, we've got some bands from Tiki Man Radio who are going to be there. Instead of a drum roll, when we introduce our winners, we're going to have a steel drum. So when we pull the name out of the envelope, it'll be a steel drum. And Tuesday, we're going to have a topless contest. And then Wednesday, we've got this glow-in-the-dark chicken band, which is going to be all these musicians dressed up as chickens and glow-in-the-dark makeup. And that's going to be really psychedelic and wild. But glow-in-the-dark is mainly the theme for Wednesday. Thursdays traditionally is toga party at a bar called Sloppy Joe's. That's real famous in Key West. That's usually the day that people take a break from body painting, I find, and just wear their bed sheets. That's about it. And Friday is the main body painting day. They've got a big contest called the Living Art Festival. That's one of the most prestigious body art competition in the United States. And what I like about it is professional body painters really can't win. If you try to sneak in like a model that you paid from, like a swimsuit model or something, that's what some artists do, and get really professionally painted, you'll score pretty high. But it's really it's a contest meant for the people who participate in the festival. So you really can't be intimidated by that particular contest, and you get significant press coverage pretty every year. One of my clients won second place. I've placed pretty high all the time, and what's kind of cool is people will hire me to do the body paint, but they won't tell me they're entering a contest, which I would appreciate if they did, because I'd like to win too. I would do something extra, but our client Deja won second place last year. She won as Storm, and she had a big lightning bolt, but I painted her up with like one of the classic outfits that she wore from the early 90s comic book. And then on Saturday is the parade, and the theme of Fantasy Fest changes every year, and that's really like the costume day. We body paint every single day starting the 18th until the 28th is that Saturday. This year's theme is uniforms and unicorns. So it's usually never that specific. Last year it was cartoon chaos and animated fanatics or something like that. The year before was in tune but off key, where it was just some kind of wacky theme. But from what I can tell, people are really excited about this year. So I'm getting a lot of requests for like topless cop uniforms painted on them, and military uniforms and uniforms like that. And of course, unicorns. People are going nuts over that. The lady with the snake in the apple is what I'm looking forward to the most this year. The most. I've got some good ideas too, but my best client Deja, she's going to be in the competition, so I'm not going to give away her winning design. She was so happy that she got second place that she booked me like immediately after, and I was a little hard to get a hold of. So it really was hard to get a hold of me. By the way, I sort of like just buried my head in the sand for a while. And I also was in Europe. I was stuck in a horrible situation in Europe. I've had one freaking bizarre year. On top of that, I was celebrating my 70th, my grandfather's 70th contest. And, but they found me and hired me again. They were the first people to hire me at Fantasy Fest this year. So, and I'm sure, Gary and Deja are listening right now. They always follow my social media and probably are watching this podcast. So I want to thank them. But Saturday is when people normally wear a lot of costumes, and they have a really, really big, crazy parade with really unique floats. My favorite was they had the theme was time travel unravels. And I actually am going to meet this guy, and I'm pretty sure I saw him in the parade. His float theme was rapist robots. So they kind of looked like the clunky ones from Lost in Space. But they had like a giant drill bit, like it's kind of like a phallus piece. And then they would walk around like this, but then they would turn to somebody in the parade that they would target and slowly walk. But then like their arms actually were, it kind of looked like that's where their arms were, but they were like kind of connected. But their arms were actually inside the robot box, and they would start spinning the drill bit. And that's where they got the rapist robot part. It was, you know, really campy, fun themes like that for the parade. I wish that I could say like ours was going to be like super cool, but and unique in that way. But we're going to really put attention on the winner of the beard contest and make them seem like they're just as much important as the king and queen of the festival, and that the people who are helping me organize it are really putting a big effort in making whoever wins this contest one important award in Key West. And I hope that the beard community will take notice and maybe try to win next year. I'm pretty proud of the judging panel too. We have a world champion barber that's going to be a judge. He's going to come. He's even got a WWE style championship belt, and celebrity stylist and who's really famous for hair color. How Gary, the sound man for Hell, got into it. He entered my contest last year, and so his he had like a rainbow beard, but it was the most phenomenal hair color I'd ever seen. He didn't just have like the 5 colors, like it looked like the prism from a Pink Floyd album. You know how that rainbow was just not like blocks of colors, it was every range of every different color you could think of. It was incredible. So I was like, that guy, whoever did your beard, he won best natural fantasy beard. So if you have a beard, you don't have to build a crazy beard. Say you got a beard like all of you guys, you can put flowers in it, decorate it as wild and crazy as you want. He went to the extreme. He bleached out his entire beard. This year, he told me that he thinks it's going to take him 8 hours to build whatever he's going to be doing with his beard this time in the chair, just to MC in this contest. So it will be, we're hoping that it will be a pretty big deal. Our other judges are someone who won the Duke of Key West. So if he wasn't the king, but he was voted as the first mate pretty much. And we've got celebrity hair and makeup artists and local Key West celebrities and beard experts. Samantha Langsley was a big DJ for her time in Key West, and she's really putting together a big effort to get the float, and whoever wins the best of their categories in a parade. I don't know if anybody else does that. If you ever seen a beard champion put in front of a parade before?
No.
So we'll definitely share the pictures with you guys. And
that's great.
But that's our goal. It is. We know it's a little weird for it being on a Monday, and you know, I'd love to hear feedback from your listeners if they are interested in attending next year. If you see my poster back there, it's pretty much the Woodstock. I'd like it to become the Woodstock of Beard contest. If you know, more people would be able to travel if it was on the weekend. We really settled on Monday because there wasn't the festival thought it would be a good day for the festival. After the zombie parade, it would be kind of cool to have a big contest of this kind. But that's
the whole week
part of it too.
Like the whole week.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to be
in. And this will be my first foray into promoting, so I was surprised. Gary, the sound man from hell, didn't say no to any of my ideas. He said, these are fantastic. We went and pitched them, and Willie's Chicken Shack loved them. So we were hoping to put together one of the best parties in Key West history. I mean, the glow-in-the-dark chickens, if they don't do it, then and the naked and the topless painted women, and Willie's Chicken Shack has got some really nice fried chicken too, New Orleans style.
I bet.
No, I was going to ask you, when you, like all your body painting, when you're doing it, is it just from the waist up, or is it full body, or is it both? I mean, what?
Well, typically, yeah, not really that many people go fully nude because you got it. And I like to give consultations that way. I kind of encourage that because the body painting isn't really cheap. The artists that I hire are more expensive than I am. So I recommend going with just the chest up because you still got to sit down somewhere. And if your ass is painted somewhere, you want to ruin a fantastic body paint design. What I do for my clients, if you see over here, is I actually will send them with a painting of their artwork. So if you come and get painted by Captain Ron, you don't have to feel sad that you've washed off this expensive piece of art. I will remember it and put it on a canvas. This is a guy that I painted on the last day of Fantasy Fest. So pineapples have a significant meaning to Fantasy Fest, if you know. Anyway, so it was the last day of Fantasy Fest, and Fantasy Fest is also kind of changing too. Like it really was like it's the last hurrah of the hippies. There's a lot of
that's hilarious.
You know, groovy people that attend this that still attend it, but it's changing. I really think that it's going to become kind of like an EDM festival in the next 5 to 10 years. I don't know, young people just don't like to grow old and get naked in the street like the Woodstock generation did. But so that's what the dinosaur kind of represents, and this is the volcano. So it's sort of like the meteorite is coming to change Fantasy Fest, just like when the meteorite changed the world when it got rid of the dinosaurs. So the pineapple is the volcano with the, I don't know, what do you guys think? Was that, imagine wearing that around town one day.
Yeah.
With your hot date. And I want to mention that the guy that I painted on this was wearing a tutu too. There's a great Facebook group that I would check out. It's called the Key West Vortex. And right around Fantasy Fest time, it's these people who accidentally pass out in the street and the ridiculous costumes. And then it's kind of like a scavenger on it. I got kicked out because I accused one of being fake. This lady was passed out on a deck. And oddly to me, and this is what upsets me about why I got banned from the Vortex page, is somebody said, that's a fake. And they made a very good observation. Her shoes were on. Like she was falling over on the deck, but her feet were hanging over, almost like she was sitting down on a recliner in a way, like perfectly sitting, like it had to have been posed. And I do believe it was a fake. And, so I somebody replied back and goes, "No, this is real." So I replied back to that guy. I said, "No way, he's right. This is a faker." Because it's kind of like gotten to be a famous page now, and they banned me for doubting the legitimacy of these drunk people. So apparently it's that critical that they be taken seriously. But normally it's a guy in a tutu that's passed out in the street in a very peculiar fashion, like not on a comfy deck and she was still holding the beer in her hand. The guy who made the original call out was absolutely right.
Ridiculous.
So, but that's just Key West is an interesting experience any day of the year. I was just there on my birthday, and I ended up on a party boat and all kinds of random stuff that had nothing to do with my original intentions of going there. Have any of you guys ever been?
I have never been to Key West, no, but it definitely sounds great.
Yeah, I've been to Florida, but never Key West.
Yeah, well, it is kind of difficult to get to, kind of, I guess, in the same way Casper, Wyoming is. There it is. If anybody could go in there and just say, "Please let Captain Ron back in,"
that might get us kicked out.
Now that's obviously a real one. Maybe you can see the post of where I'm talking about, where she's on a deck somewhere. That's Whitehead Street. That's not far from the courthouse, I believe.
Wow, look at all this.
Yeah. Now I believe these are just regularly things that regularly happen in during the day, during the festival. You see the people in the costumes.
Yeah, long live the Vortex.
Oh, it's the Gravity Chronicles, I think is the real name. Oddly though, you never see people passed out and body painted. My clients are a little bit more savvy than that.
Almost all those look fake.
I'm glad you said that. I think what's so offended is I believe the guy that originally made the comment is still in the group.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy got a sign. That's even better. Now that must be fake, though.
Just scan and see if I see any body paint.
There is a funny one with the guy where a guy's just passed out in the green tutu. The tutu's like upside down. Oh, that's a good one.
With his head on a radio.
I'm trying to see if I can recognize the one. There it is. There it is.
Oh,
I think it's that one there. See that lady with on the deck over there with the gray deck? That's the one.
Huh.
That's the one I got in trouble for. Did they get? Well, they banned me, so my comments are probably gone. But
I'm sure.
I think there's some fake accusations in there.
Yeah,
but I think she's right. She looks way too posed, and people are like, "Why is the sidewalk all dry?" But
yeah, like you'd have like a large wet area probably.
Yeah, and she has got her shoes on, and look at the way her feet are planted. It just looks like she, did a
she's
quick
holding
pose
herself
for a
there.
picture.
Yeah.
That one's definitely posed.
Yeah, definitely. It's interesting though.
Not many guys with beards though. We can hold our liquor.
Right. Right. You're right. No body paint. This is
the you gotta go find the funny one in the green tutu. Oh, there's the cactus man. Yeah.
There's a lot of them.
Oh yeah.
It's been going on a while. I think they even sell T-shirts for it now. Somebody put $1 in his pants?
Yeah.
Oh, that's definitely left over from Fantasy Fest. But you know, Fantasy Fest is that side to it. But I was painting there for 3 or 4 years, and I didn't even know half the stuff that was going on behind the scenes. So,
Yeah.
And the festival's pretty cool. The organizers they do a good job at letting those people that like inflatable penises have a good time, but not become the center of the party. You would never know of that Fantasy Fest was that weird. It's just a real fun costume like carnival. That's some now this is more of what Key West style body painting is known for. And most they really pioneered airbrushing too. My body paint's a little bit more, I want to say, like 60s inspired, like full body paint, a little bit kind of like this, like the Grinch. That was from the holiday themed. I actually think I saw her walking around. I did a really good one where this big fat guy was Cruella de Vil, and you know, in the cartoon when she's driving her car and she's got crazy eyes and it's like a mad woman because she's pissed she lost the 101 Dalmatians. Well, that's what I did on his chest, and his big man boobs were the crazy eyes, and then his 2 girlfriends I made as the Dalmatians. That's one of the favorite ones I ever did. There's a lot of superhero body painting too. That's probably the second most popular type of designs people get. Is Wonder Woman is always popular. Different superheroes, and instead of wearing spandex, just wearing your skin and getting painted. There's my beard contest.
There we go.
Yeah. I'm interested to know what people think about this poster. The first one was behind me with from Hard Rock, where I'm playing guitar with a beard. Then the second year I had the beard octopus, and this is the beard versus Whiskerina showdown. It's had some. My inspiration was WrestleMania 3, since this was the third. The third contest.
Yeah.
I think they're impressive.
Yeah, I definitely like the one that's kind of like the beard holding other beardsmen, like the like octopus, you know, like.
Yeah, it's like these people are stuck in a weird beard squid war.
Yeah.
You guys' logo is pretty cool too. Did you have an artist do it, or did you do it yourself?
Jason's wife.
Wow. And it looks like it's also you can identify each other by your beards, you know?
Yeah.
If you guys ever do a contest, I'll become one of your sponsors, and what we'll do is we'll replicate the 3 of your beards, and you can give those away as your trophies. You can glue them to a mannequin head, and you guys can argue over who's the first and third and second place.
Well, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Well, anything else you want to plug? Thanks for coming on.
That's really it. Not necessarily that good at plugging other stuff, but charity and other people's products too. But a little modest in that way. But we would be honored if you entered into this contest. Nikki's Celebration, the charity, would really appreciate the help. They're a very small charity that does not get a lot of attention like larger charities do. They do significantly well. They raise about $30,000 to $40,000, but that's not enough to take care of a family whose child comes down with pediatric cancer. And the foundation is named after a young man that lived in Key West, and their parents own the music store in Key West, and they started the charity shortly after. And we're really looking forward to all the crazy pictures that we're going to put out, and I hope you guys become a part of it, because the prizes are legitimately real. They're going to be distributed by the sponsors themselves. So I'm Captain Ron. What did you expect? Me to have the well-oiled machine back here? I'm just like the real Captain Ron from the movie. I've got Gabrielle now, fortunately. But if you could see, she couldn't even put her beard on straight yet. And
I'm better at taking notes.
Yeah.
This is what I'm doing.
And but so the sponsors are going to distribute the which I would have thought about that before. The sponsors should pay for the shipping.
Yeah.
And so I'd like to go through the prizes again. Actually, so you could win Death Grip Mustache Wax. Dr. Goodbeard is our primary sponsor, along with Mythical Beards. They're promising to Mythical Beards really comes through for prizes. Their certificates they give. I think the winners of the first year might have been $50 to $100. And that's and Dr. Goodbeard will not be unmatched. If you like cigars, William Ross Cigars will send you a nice package of hand rolled cigars. You got to be in Key West to get a body paint. But if you are a Whiskerina who's ever wanted a beard or mustache from mustacheparlor.com, this is a good way to win one. And we also have the Cruise for Chew from the Fury, Blossom Key West tickets. You can win a spot in the parade. If you compete online, you get to be in the parade too, because if you give us permission, we're going to print your picture on a big poster, and we're going to make the guy who showed up to win carry it on a stick.
Nice. Yeah, I saw Doc Goodbeard has like a $200 package that they're awarding to one of the winners.
Dr. Goodbeard is in it to win it, man. It's all about the beard, according to them.
Yeah, it is.
That is their lingo. Their veteran, their best recipes that a veteran was using, and I believe he's passed away. And the story is that his war buddy was given the task of distributing Dr. Goodbeard, and so it's all a good story.
Yep.
We also have goodies from the greenhouse with 3 E's. Because if you use green products like they sell at the greenhouse, I'm sure you speak in that way. And plus the rum. What more could a beardsman want? Rum, cigars, beard care products, a cruise for them and their Whiskerina.
Definitely. Great prizes.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll definitely hit up we'll promote it in our Facebook page and our IG, try to get people to join.
Thank you.
It's $5. I mean, $5 or more. You can definitely donate more, but $5 at least to get in.
Yeah.
And, it's going to a good cause. These families need it.
And it is fun. If you ever wanted your beard and mustache like really critiqued from a professional squad of hair and makeup people, they're taking this very seriously. It's really easy too. You just have to sign up, and then you have you don't have to send your picture right away. You can take 1,000 pictures and pick the best one, or hire a photographer, or whatever you need to do to win the contest, but it's just no sweat. You don't even have to be present on the day to win. This is centered for the hospitality industry of Key West too. So you have to remember that they have to work while other people party. So if you decide to come down to Key West, you're going to be, the prejudging is done from noon until 5 o'clock. And so you actually compete alongside the people who compete online. I didn't mention that. So I would like to explain that a little bit. So it is always going to be kind of like a photo competition. So, but there will be a different set of judges live in Key West and a different set of judges online around the country. The winners for the live contest will be announced at 7 p.m. on Monday, October 23rd. That is the cutoff for when you can submit your picture or sign up for the online version. And honestly, you should be paying like maybe $50 to talk to Christine Hackman about your beard. So probably even more. She gets paid at least like $60 to $70 to work on a movie set an hour. So it's $5 to interact with, one of the best leading whiskerinas. And she's not just a whiskerina, but she's a brilliant hair and makeup artist and wig maker that really knows a lot how to make men look really freaking sexy with their beards. I've never known an ugly man that's come across Christine Hackman's chair. Yeah. But to sign up at the website, it's mustacheparlor.com/Key West. Or just mustacheparlor.com. You find your way there too. And if you want to see my body painting work, it's CaptainRonWolek.com. I am on IMDb also at RONWOLEK. And Gabrielle is also going to be online on mustacheparlor.com processing your orders. She's actually at the shipping desk right now learning how to do it. Say hi, Gabrielle. You want to show them the shipping desk where actually they get their stuff?
Vanna White, This is the shipping desk. And that's it.
Nice. Very good.
It was good to be on the Bearded Respect. It was wonderful to meet you dudes in Wyoming, and I'm sure we'll cross paths again.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yep.
I'm sure.
Man, that dog.
You should keep that dog around. He could be your Ed McMahon.
I don't know. Usually she stays downstairs, but lately, for about the last month or so, when I come upstairs, I'm upstairs. She'll be at that door over there bawling to get in so she can come in and lay down.
Jeez.
She's
She
crazy.
likes to hear our voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a cat like that sometimes.
But
he hears you talking to someone, and then he's interested.
Yeah.
Yeah, cats are interesting. We've got a group of cat people that are going to get painted for Fantasy Fest together as a famous cat that ran for mayor. This is actually something you can Google. His name is Captain Boo. And so the guy entered his cat as a ballot, got all the way through, answered the questions. They said, well, were you born in Monroe County? And that said, yeah, he was born in Monroe County. How old is he? And he said he's 45 or whatever. And eventually they found out he was a cat. But allegedly, before they found out he was a cat, the cat dropped out and decided not to run. Gave the election away, kind of Ross Perot style. And but dogs, to me, in my opinion, are a lot more fun.
He's downstairs, Tara. He's probably sleeping too, which that's where I'll be going here pretty soon, I think.
Is that the cat we're looking at now?
Yeah,
that's a guard cat.
So that's Captain Boo.
That's Captain Boo. Look at, he's almost got like a mustache, like the grumpy cat. He might end up entering the competition. Captain. Oh man.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, Scott, you want to wrap it up?
Yeah. Thanks, Captain Ron, for doing
guys
this.
are
And everybody, make sure you check out his website for the online competition. It looks like a lot of fun. Well worth at least $5.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You could look at what you could win for $5.
Yeah. Look at that.
That's just the smallest one. We've got some of them are shaped like a chicken. If you go online, you can see some of them. The chicken. But you know what? I do want to say, if you are around, the Vancouver Facial Hair Club is gonna have their competition in October. I used to attend when it was in the summer, and it was well worth traveling for this piece of wood.
That's what she said.
And I got invited back too. But I won't be entering in my own competition. I'll just be officiating it. So, but maybe I'll make it to nationals.
I'll keep an eye out for you.
Wish I could make it, but thanks for joining us. And
oh, you're welcome.
Yep.
I'll definitely be checking that out, and we'll promote it on our social media.
And I'm looking forward to listening to you guys next week on the Beard Respect.
Thanks.
Cool. Thanks. Thanks everybody for joining us. We will catch you next Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Rock
See
and
you
roll.
later.
Good night, everybody.